Perfect timing, Professor. If you don't mind, I have a favor I'd like to ask of you. It's in regard to sword training. Not for myself, but, well, to be honest, I've been teaching swordsmanship to the orphans at the monastery for a while now. Some of them saw me sparring with the knights one day. They started pestering me to teach them. They were so earnest, I couldn't help but oblige. There's much I wish to show them, but due to my own studies and training, I'm afraid my time is rather limited. Which brings me to my favor. Your swordsmanship is unmatched. I hate to ask this of you, but would you consider lending me a hand? Thank you, truly. I am in your debt, and I always repay my debts, I'll have you know. All of these children lost their families and homes to war or illness. This may sound a bit arrogant, but I feel it's my responsibility to help them. I lost my parents without warning, too. In that way, we're the same. In Duskur, I lost my father, stepmother, and closest friends. I didn't have many allies at the castle after that. In truth, I had only to do for companionship. I'm afraid not. My birth mother fell ill and died shortly after I was born. And my uncle, suffice to say, we don't get along. Ah, but there were those outside the castle walls I was close to, such as Rodrigue. Pardon my rudeness. I meant Lord Rodrigue. He is my father's old companion, and the father of Felix. On the occasions he would visit the capital, he'd take me out hunting or on long horse rides. While Dedu is like a brother to me, Rodrigue is more like a second father. It might sound ridiculous, but he's the kind of man I hope to become one day. Someone who helps others. Someone who can reach out and save a lost soul. Oh, please, accept my apologies for boring you with my life story. In any case, don't forget your promise, Professor. I'm counting on you.
Here you are again. I see. The flowers you helped to water are in bloom now. Have a look. Indeed. My sister was fond of this one in particular. Dead. Duskur is a dead land. Its flowers were all trampled under the boots of soldiers. But seeing this blossom brings back memories. I do not know why I am telling you all of this. There is little to tell. But if you are from Fodlan, you must know what became of the people of Duskur. The people who betrayed their allies from Fargus. The ones who were punished for regicide. The Duskur are shunned for their crimes, even now. It would be in your interest not to spend any more time around me than necessary. His Highness is an exception. But, to be completely candid, it pleases me to be able to speak with you like this. If you truly do not mind, I would be glad to receive more visits from you in the future.
Oh, shopping took longer than I thought. It's a good thing I had your help, Professor. Looks like we've got everything we came for. Time to head back to the monastery. To tell you the truth, I wasn't sure if the money that knight gave us would be enough. We managed to scrape by, though. I'm glad those shopkeepers were willing to strike a few bargains. It's one of the few things I'm really good at. I've got a lot of experience living in the city. Money was tight for me too, at least until Lenato adopted me into his family. Come to think of it, you were originally a mercenary, weren't you? I'm sure you traveled all over Fodlan. That must have been a pretty different life from regular folks like me. Huh, you think so? But a mercenary's whole job is fighting, isn't it? Must be a pretty tough way to live. Wow, I guess you must get used to it. That's really incredible, though. Oh! I had no idea they sold this book around here. I haven't seen this one for ages. Lugh and the Maiden of Wind. It's a well-known tale of chivalry in Fargus. Lugh is the King of Lions. This book is full of his exciting adventures. I've loved this since I was a kid. It was what got me learning to read.
Give me that book!
Hey, creep! Don't touch the merch! What the? Somebody catch that thief! Cut him in half like my prices!
Please, calm down, ma'am.
You calm down, kid! If he gets away with that valuable merch, it'll be a huge loss for me!
Here, allow me to compensate you.
Huh? Are you serious, kid? I mean, no objections over here, but that sounds crazy.
Don't you worry. That thief will be paying me back just as soon as I catch him. Head on back to the monastery, Professor. I'll take care of everything here.
Hey, Professor, what's going on? A suspicious man? Where? Oh, is that him? What do you think he's up to? Never mind that. Let's get him. Keep watch. It's so boring. My instincts tell me that he's up to no good, and my instincts are never wrong. Come on, let's get him before he has a chance to strike. Huh? Huh! It leads to the plaza where the kids play. There's no way I'm letting this guy get anywhere near those kids.
Caspar, why did you disobey your professor?
Well,
I am not seeking excuses from you. I asked because I want you to consider your actions and apologize for them. It just so happens that you were correct in your assumption that this man was a villain. If that were not so, he would not have chosen to take his own life upon seeing you advancing toward him.
great. So I was...
But because of your actions, that is all we know. There is no way for us to know who he was, what he was planning to do, or if he has allies lurking about. The only lead we have is a scorpion tattooed on his arm. If this indicates that he was a member of an underground organization, we have no way of dealing with it. Are you prepared to be held responsible if his group commits a serious crime? Oh, I couldn't possibly.
What are you talking about, Professor? We didn't do anything wrong. Those kids might have been in danger if we didn't act. I couldn't just stand by and let that happen.
At this time of year, the fish are fat. Simply grilling them will bring out their best flavor. Steaming them with herbs is delicious too.
Wow, you know a lot about this. I'm learning so much from you to do. Were you a cook at the castle in Ferdiad?
No.
Did your family own an eatery of some kind?
No. My sister and I helped with cooking at home.
Wow, that's all? I thought I was confident about my skills, but next to you, I feel like an amateur. Hey, could you give me some advice about other kinds of meat besides fish?
Ash,
Yes to do?
why do you spend time with me?
We're friends, right? I just want to get to know you better. Is that so odd?
I am from Dusker.
So, look at me. I came from a life of poverty. I was lucky to even be let in here to study with all these high-class people. I think we have a lot in common.
Being poor and being from Dusker are two different things.
Oh, I know. But we can still be friends, can't we?
You are a peculiar person.
So I'm told. Happy! I've been looking everywhere for you.
What's going on? Something urgent?
Oh no, but I promised to tell you the rest of the Luna Knight's tale, remember?
Huh. I've forgotten all about that. If you really want to tell the story that badly, I guess just go ahead.
Okay, I will. Do you remember where I left off?
Well, you were telling me something about how the Luna Knight was hard on liars and cheaters.
Right. So her husband, Duke Regan, turns out to be a bit of a libertine.
That's hilarious. My favorite part was when she caught her husband in the act and tossed him out the window. I thought tales about knights were supposed to be straight-laced, but this one's raunchy as heck.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Usually these tales are pretty serious. But sometimes in a serious story, you need lighter moments like that to connect to the characters. It helps to see that even these great heroes made mistakes now and again. Just like us.
You're so trusting, Freckles. For some reason, I find it endearing. But you shouldn't take something at face value just because it's written down. The truth is, knights do plenty of things that aren't heroic at all. Things that hurt people.
You're not wrong. Some knights do terrible things. That doesn't make the great ones any less worthy of honor, though.
What about knights who have died taking a stand against the church? Would you call them great?
That's complicated.
Or what about the knights who put me in Abyss, promising to release me from my curse? When they couldn't, they left me there out of fear for what I might do. Does that sound honorable to you?
Happy, I'm so sorry.
Sorry. I can't help but say nasty things. Got any more stories for me? Maybe another racy one?
Yes, actually. I came prepared with the most, racy ones I could find, in case you happen to ask.
Of course you did. Let's hear one then.
I thought I heard someone. Are you here to train? Care to train with me? Waving the sword around alone is boring. And I'm tired of crossing swords with worthless opponents. But you seem like a worthy adversary. I don't know for certain, but you seem skilled. I've always been interested in your technique. You learned from the former captain of the Knights of Seros, and traveled Fodlan fighting as a mercenary. Good sparring partners like you don't grow on trees. But know that I will beat you, and I will surpass your strength. Why? I never really thought about that. I learned to thrust a sword before I learned to write my name. Of course, my upbringing wasn't unique. That's how it is for all children in my country. You're no use if you can't swing a sword, however mighty your crest may be. It was the perfect environment for me. I could live free of stodgy values and virtues. Grow strong so you may live, and live to grow stronger. That's what I was taught. Why should I? Nothing's as important as the pursuit of strength. But that's enough idle chatter. Take out your sword. My mind is emptied of all but the thrill of the challenge.
Yes, these herbs will do, though I note we're short on arcane crystals. I'll make a note to keep some in reserve next time. No more materials, if that's what you're asking, though I do still require a test subject. Not a what, a who, meaning you. Now, lie still, please. Fair point. A bit of rest to clear my head would be good for the next steps. Let us leave off here, and I shall see you again in the morning. I'd better make some headway on this tomorrow. Every day counts, you know. If I can complete this ritual, I'll be famous throughout the known world for it. Ooh. The prestige it will bring me is necessary to restore my fallen house. Or was your question, why go to so much trouble for a fallen house? Because I am a Nouvelle, as were all my ancestors. And our line has endured too long to end with me. Oh, yes, you don't know. Well, seeing as you are serving both as my research assistant and test subject, I should explain myself. House Nouvelle was granted its peerage shortly after the establishment of the Empire. For generations, the heads of our house have been scholars of magic. They often enjoyed appointments to esteemed posts within the Empire. However, during the insurrection of the Seven, we cast our lot with the Emperor and were punished for it. We suffered further losses when we were used as a sacrifice to Dagda and Brigid during their attack. My family, including my parents and older brother, died then. The town of Nouvelle is now an ash heap. The 6 great families decreed this to be the end of my house. We have not left now but the name. No title? No subjects? No land? Everything I was to inherit has been taken from me. What I require is an achievement so grand that Lady Edelgard would be forced to recognize it. And then, House Nouvelle will take its rightful place among the elite class once more. You understand that to collaborate with me towards such a grand purpose is a high honor, don't you? But yes, good night. I expect to see you bright and early tomorrow.
He's always with that man from Dusker. How strange.
I'll bet he used some dirty tricks to gain his favor. That's how those scoundrels from Dusker operate.
What a pleasant conversation you seem to be having. May I join? Please, continue.
Oh, Your Highness, I was just...
I said continue.
I'm sorry, Your Highness!
Such foolishness runs rampant. I fear it is the reality of Fargus for now.
It must appear strange to them, to see me always in your company.
Does it bother you to do?
Of course not. However...
Let me guess. You take exception to the gossip that you use dirty tricks to obtain your position. Is that it?
That does perturb me, but not for my own sake. I am concerned about your Highness's reputation.
We're not talking about my feelings, but yours. As far as I'm concerned, those fools can talk nonsense until their tongues fall out.
I am afraid I cannot agree. But if you were not concerned for your honor in this instance, then why did you intervene?
Because it is my duty to do so. The day my father was killed, I saw the swine who did it. They were not of Dusker. I saw that, knew it beyond a doubt, and yet I was unable to prevent the massacre that followed. Nor could I clear away the dishonor of regicide that has unjustly clung to you and your people. I will not rest until I make up for that. I owe you, just as I owe the spirits of those I let die.
I do consider Fargus to be abhorrent, but you are an exception. You offered me your hand, and pulled me out from an abyss of suffering and death. You risked your life to save a foreigner you had never met. The moment you extended your hand, I decided that only for your sake would I live the remainder of my life, and I would cast it aside in an instant if my death were to your benefit. For that reason, I cannot consider myself your friend. There are still many in the kingdom who despise the people of Dusker. It would be selfish of me to stand by your side as an equal.
To do.
Your Highness?
Do you really believe I care one bit about the chatter of the ignorant?
Of course not. Please forgive my impudence.
I understand the intention of your words. Still, they grieve me. If you wish it so, you may continue to think of yourself as my vassal. I clearly cannot stop you. We need not be anything more or anything less. If that is what you wish to do, so be it.
Your Highness.
Hello, Felix. I see you're here to train as well.
Go away. Just looking at your face makes me want to retch.
With that mouth of yours, you grow more like your brother every day.
Shut up. And stop walking around on your hind legs. You're not fooling me.
I cannot fathom why you seem to hate me so.
Because I know what you really are. A beast, craving blood.
A beast craving blood, am I? I assume you're speaking of the events 2 years ago. Last time we met outside the academy?
I am. The way you suppressed that rebellion, it was ruthless slaughter, and you loved every second. I remember the way you killed your victims, how you watched them suffer. And your face, that expression, all the world's evil packed into it. That was our first battle. I remember it vividly. Oh, something wrong? Go ahead and deny it, you wild boar.
I deny nothing, Felix.
Well then. I suppose the Dimitri I once knew died during that slaughter in Dusker, along with my brother.
Perhaps you're right.
Hurry up and get out of my sight. I don't make a habit of talking to beasts.
Today's dinner is steak and then a cake that's yummy yum. Now it's time to fill my tummy tummy tum. Oh, this mountain of sweets and treats that I long to eat. Oh, stacks of steaks and cakes and crumbs and yums.
I hope I'm not interrupting.
Felix, you weren't listening, were you?
I heard enough to know that you're hungry.
No, I mean, well, yes. At least tell me you didn't see the dance.
You have nice footwork. Get something to eat. I can take over watering the plants.
You're evil, Felix!
And you're shouting.
You can't just spy on people while they're singing without even saying anything! It's not right!
I actually did call out that I was coming in. It's not my fault you didn't hear.
Well, you need to speak louder then! Ugh, this is so embarrassing. And of course I was singing some silly food song I made up. I should have been singing about bears or swamp beasties.
I didn't realize there were songs about bears and swamp beasties. That food song seemed to be close to your heart. Your stomach isn't far from your heart, after all. Huh. What was that about? I better water these plants. Wouldn't want them to get thirsty, or they might start singing too.